Hey everyone, and welcome to the first major update of Elysian Eclipse. We are on version 0.1.2, and you've probably already noticed 3 new things. First of all, new music. Second of all, new galaxy. And for the keenest of eyes, third of all, the galaxy is rotating properly. I know that bothered a few people in the previous version of spinning in the wrong direction. Don't worry, Wasman's also noticed and he's fixed the rotation. It is the attention to little details that really do give a lot of charm in these games. And speaking of details, if I were to reboot my game, you will notice a brand new galaxy. Wasman's has added 4 new galaxy designs, the original Classic Spore one and 3 new ones that will randomly show up in the main menu. And it's really cool to see, just like a bit of a nice visual variety. It kind of makes every time you log in or enter the main menu just a little bit different, and it's nice. Now, in terms of functionality, we've got a very important one to cover here, and that is the Elysian Archive. Now, this was indeed implemented in the previous version, but it's very unfinished and not really functional. Whereas now, say I was to open my penguin creation here, it animates, you can view it, and it has a bit of a bounce, which is again the nice little details that really matter, gives it a bit of charm. Same again if I open one of my cells, such as the demo here. Now unfortunately you can't rotate them just yet, a feature to be added in the future, but it's a really nice start. And you might also notice backwards compatibility. I can open my previous creations from the previous version in the latest version now. Additionally, a very important thing for all of you is that the save keyboard shortcuts have been abolished, and instead we now actually have real buttons, including a warning to save your creation. This is important, it was not there before. But now we've covered all the technical things, what about the editor? Well, I think it'd be better I play with an older creation instead of making a new one immediately. We got a couple of new things to show you. First of all, the base structures in the form of the membrane and skin can now be changed in terms of size. You can make it smaller or larger, but you can also change their merge, and that is how much the skin tries to stretch across different membranes. So if I were to get rid of this cylinder here, you can really, you can really see the difference right there, which gives you much more control. But you know what? That's not even the most exciting part yet. Down below, we have our first iteration of textures. Again, work in progress, bear with us, but I can select all these different materials here. I can change the tiling, so I have full control as to the way it repeats, and I can assign groups. So say for example, I want, so I want the base of my creature, I want everything to be, let's see, about this kind of pattern here, right? So something like a bit dusty and dirty looking, but maybe I want the eye stalks here to be a different texture. So not only can you independently change colors of these parts as well, I'll make it white for example, I can change the group that they are assigned to, and then I can apply a different material entirely. So say I wanted the eyes to be blank, I no longer have need for all of these detail parts here. I can actually go ahead and add in more of these, make that a lot smaller, reduce the merge. In fact, just for the sake of it, let's just add it to group 1 as well, give it 0 texture, and just like that, instead of requiring a skin-based decoration, I can now just use more of the membranes itself. I did the same thing over here, get rid of these 2, add this, reduce the merge, reduce the size, copy paste the color, once again assign to group 1 for the lack of materials. And now of course this one's looking a little bit thinner, but what I could do is just increase the merge, kind of like that. Now would you believe it if I said that wasn't even the coolest thing yet? So this is of course a brand new texture system. I've not really seen something like this in any other game. It's very cool and I love the way it's implemented it, but we're about to see something even cooler. Let us get rid of all of these detail parts here. And you might have noticed that in the decoration panel, there is a new set, and these are based on the cell membrane. Say I want this ring. So, of course, you're probably thinking, oh, well, you can't really see anything, can you? Check out this new option, 2D mode, color only. So now this is purely just a pattern. It's just a marking. It has no influence to the body itself. It is purely just a color. So perhaps I want to make the merge really low. That way it's a very nice, big, sharp color. Increase the size, make it more vibrant. And as you can see, I have this really well-defined marking. Maybe a bit too defined. I can also blur it out like that. I can also make it a lot smaller. I can also use different shapes for it. So we've got these big cube parts which really interact with the shape of the body. Oh wow. Again, 2D mode. Reduce the sizing of it. Perhaps reduce the merge so it's a bit more crisp. And let's get another bright color, maybe make it a little bit larger. Oh, and that is not the right part to select. There we go. Oh, also, it shows up really well on the base over there. Now, with the right kind of patience, you can make some really incredible patterns with this. So let me see if I can try and demonstrate with this part here. In fact, already have. As you can see, now it's less of a ring and more of a stripe that wraps around the entirety of the eye stalk. And if you're wondering, yes, you can also assign groups to these. So say I set these square to group 2, and I can give it an entirely different texture like this. Same for the magenta ring, I'll assign that to group 2, and the blue rings group 2 as well, just so we can see how it all works together. And just for the fun of it, I'm going to change a couple of the base body parts into group 2 as well. That way we really have a lot of variation. Now the new decoration parts don't only need to be for texturing, we can also use it just to shape out the creature, such as this. So perhaps you weren't really digging the constantly, you know, round bulbous cells, maybe you wanted something sharper, spikier, more defined. Well, don't you worry, that is exactly what you now can do. And you've still got full rotation access right here. Oh, that looks funky. Oh, there we go. So you can have something like that. That looks really strange. Maybe some big cylindrical eyes like that. And just like before, we still have the pseudopod mouth to try and merge it all together. And this will try to inherit colors and textures appropriately. The mouth part is still very much focused on whichever part you place it on, and that is the information it will inherit. And I just noticed I've accidentally made a crab. It's awesome, a crab with a very large tail. At least the front mass here looks like little crab claws. I love it. And just for the final finishing touch, all these cyan pieces, and go ahead and give yet again another different material. Apply that to group 4, apply this one over here to group 4 as well, and it just makes it look a little bit different. Now obviously in a final creation or an actual proper one, you could probably make something a bit prettier, but this is a nice demonstration to show just how these new features can be used and abused. And that about does it. Now, just a quick little note, if I go into the Elysian Archive and try to view my brand new beta cell creation, you'll notice that the new textures don't show up just yet. It still has the original base colors. Don't worry, just a temporary thing. That is another feature to be fixed in the future. And just in case you're wondering, all of these features are indeed implemented in the creature editor as well, so I can do all the same things again right here. Quickly make a large base membrane, add a couple of these onto it, so I can really abuse the merging once again just like before. So say I make that like pure white, I can definitely do all the same things again. We are not limited to just a cell editor, we can do this in the creature editor as well. Oh, and look at that, another one of the brand new Galaxies. So everyone, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. Let me know your thoughts on what you think, and if you want to get your hands on this version as well, you can do so via Walsman's Patreon. Patreon does help fund this project and allows him to focus more time into this, and his goal is that if he reaches $6,000 per month, he'll be able to make the game entirely free. So have fun, take care, and happy creating. I'll see you all next time. Cheers.